It's okay to end your film early, and it's okay to just have one storyline. Often, I see a movie and I come out thinking, you had some good ideas, you just needed a little bit of editing. Longer isn't always better, and often people muddy down their own ideas by trying to drag them out too long. A tight 60 minutes is always more enjoyable than an hour and a half with filler in it. Hello and welcome to my channel. Here I review new movies and television shows, and try to release a new review every day from Monday to Friday. Today, I'm going over the film Blood Relatives. It's written, directed by, and stars Noah Segan. It also stars Victoria Morales and Akasha Villalobos. It's a mix between a family comedy and a horror film that has a lot of charm but doesn't quite hit the mark. It starts off with a strong premise, but shoots its shot a little too early and is left trying to pad its runtime. The cast does solid work, the film's production quality is enjoyable, and there are quite a few hilarious jokes. Its story just doesn't pack the emotional punch it promised. We start off following Francis, a Jewish vampire traveling alone in a beat-up old car. He drives at night and only stops to find parts for his car or to eat. When he stops for the night at a motel and a strange girl finds him, his world gets turned upside down. Jane recently lost her mother and came to find her absent father to find out about his side of the family. The two bond over their vampire heritage and set off on an adventure to find her remaining family. The story is a little trope-heavy, but hits on a few strong emotions and tells a sweet tale of a father bonding with his daughter and learning to reconnect with his humanity. Francis and Jane are both wonderful characters with their own quirks and flaws that make them stand out. Francis is a wisecracking loner who banters well, and Jane is a confused but independent young kid looking for answers in a home. The jokes are funny, albeit a little homogenous in style. There's a lot of humor related to Jewish culture and the Yiddish language, but the film does spice it up a little with some cringe comedy and a few visual gags here and there. Unfortunately, it expends most of its emotional reserves in the middle of the movie, and is left floundering after that point. The jokes are still funny, but the characters don't really have anywhere left to go, so the film tacks on another storyline that doesn't hit as well as the first. The first half of the movie is strong and has a lot going for it. The second half kind of squanders that potential and provides an okay product. The cast does a fantastic job of selling their roles, from the leads to the extras. The lion's share of the screen time goes to Noah Segan and Victoria Morales. Noah, as Francis, is funny, charismatic, and reminds me a lot of a younger Larry David. He plays the emotions a little more subtly, but during his few outbursts, managed to put a lot of passion and emotion into his craft. He does great with the comedy and a solid job of the emotional work. Victoria Morales nails the fluctuating emotions of a teenager and gives great emotional reactions. The way she stares at the security guard while he's badmouthing his ex, or the fear and disgust she shows during the goat scene were great examples. Production-wise, the film is really well done. The camera work is smooth, the scenery is always visible, and there's a lot of energy in the shots. The horror elements aren't particularly scary or gory, but the few scenes that do involve blood and mayhem are tastefully done. They get the point across, but don't spend more time than they have to with the aftermath. There isn't much of a soundtrack in this film. There are only 2 or 3 songs strewn about, and while they're well used, they aren't that memorable. There's an original song or two, and a few Hollywood boilerplate tracks, but most of the film sits in silence. It's a refreshing take, and it gives the movie a more realistic atmosphere. I enjoyed Blood Relatives quite a bit, despite the lackluster finale. It has a decent premise with a touching story, solid acting and comedic chops, and high production quality. It's a fun film to sit down with and enjoy for a bit of light entertainment. 7 out of 10.